You gotta get the right. You gotta get to the right. I don't know, spot in your vocal cords. What the freak? What up, chat? Both chats, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're at, man. I appreciate you being here. If you guys are on Twitch, show some love. Retweet my latest tweet plugging this show, and maybe we'll get everybody rolling in here. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2020. Happy Thursday. Happy 6-game slate of NBA tonight. We are ever so close to Super Bowl weekend. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/Gundacker Sports, man. I surely appreciate you guys showing up and showing out on this 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central stream. How'd you do last night? Everybody let me know in chat how you did last night. We'll talk a little bit about last night. We do try and compact this stream a little bit more, but I don't even care. We got time. If you are stumbling across this video on YouTube or even Twitch, what you see on the screen is rundfs.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS, we run DFS, man. Come be part of the family if you're playing DFS, or if you're new to DFS, or you just want to change. Definitely encourage you guys to consider planting yourself in a strong-minded community of DFS players. And even if it's not run DFS, I still think you're at a pretty big disadvantage if you're not part of a team, whether it be a Discord, a Slack chat, a group chat, a Twitter chat, whatever it is. Gotta have a team. You gotta have eyes and ears everywhere, and it helps if that team all play DFS and can help you out with news or share some thoughts, man. And I think we got a pretty strong one at rundfs.com. So come check us out. I'll talk more about the benefits of VIP later on in this show. I just had some Burger King, Breakfast King, and I just popped open a bank. So we're ready to get. We're ready, dog. That's all we need. All I need in this life is me and my bang and Burger King. I don't know. I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that. But once I refine it, it's gonna be good. Anyway, we're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you have subscribed already on YouTube, hit that sub button. Ring that notifications bell. Make sure you're showing some love there. We're trying to get to the 5,000 subscriber mark. I've been trying to do that for going on 9 years now. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure to hit that follow button. If you haven't renewed your Twitch Prime, show some love. Drop a Twitch sub on me. And I don't know. Maybe we'll do I'm thinking we should do Monday through Friday. Well, I don't know. I was thinking we should do all but one stream a week, co-streaming on YouTube, and then I would show major love to Twitch by having one Twitch only stream a week. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, what's up, chat? Look at all the people in chat. Shout out to chat. Both chats. Kiawa in the Twitch chat. Ernesto, technically first in the YouTube chat. Justin Sports, Josh Jennings says, how about that Mitch Robinson call I mentioned yesterday? He was the pivot. Yeah, the only reason I was considering Mitchell Robinson is because of Bobby Portis okie doke, which was just an okie doke. But yeah, no, good play. Hey. Yo, appreciate that follow, Jordan into an off key. Oh, that was going to be like a Jordan pushed off joke. What up, Stud Muffin? What up, 3BS 2K3? Peyton Mitchell stack last night worked. Yo, Peyton did his thing. A couple, Kyrie Irving kind of let you down. Chris Paul, there's a couple of guys, and that's why I didn't allow the narrative to be pushed on the show. You guys that were here yesterday understand what I'm talking about, because it's not fair to the players, and it's not fair to anyone else to get more emotionally involved into a player past statistics. So, and yesterday was a great example. There was a lot of people that you could have placed a certain narrative on, and they were not great fantasy plays. Last night was meh. So last night, Damian Lillard was still your number one play. Even with CJ McCollum back in the mix, he had a triple-double. Russell Westbrook, 65.5 DKP. DeMar DeRozan, I did have a lot of DeMar, and I had a lot of Elfrid Payton, but I had quite a bit of of Kyrie Irving, a little bit, probably more than average on Chris Paul, but overall, we kind of expected this to be a low-scoring night. And one of the problems I had when building lineups is I just did not have value that I felt comfortable with. And even with, a 65 and 70 on the slate, it was really kind of low scoring. I mean, outside of there's 3 guys that scored over 50 fantasy points. So it was kind of a low scoring night altogether. A lot of the value was uncomfortable. So it is what it is. Hopefully, you made out on the right side of goodness. Something I do want to keep track of. Taco brought it up in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord yesterday. Is the Trailblazers have a unique, I don't say unique, but Trailblazers have been bulldogs against James Harden, like the way they guard him. I'm going to show you guys James Harden DKP by game log versus Trailblazers last 10 games. James Harden in the last 10 games has dropped over 63 times, and I think okay, those are regular season stuff, but in the last couple years, he hasn't dropped over 60 since 2018. So the Blazers, I guess they either had a secret sauce, they got a scheme or something to slow him down. And then the last 2 games have been 36, 37 DKP, but point-wise, scoring-wise, it's been low as well. So maybe keep that in mind for the future. I do think James Harden will, break through eventually, but we're talking years of sample size now, where James Harden has kind of been limited by the Blazers. Gunn having it his way. Hey, I didn't even ask for the Burger King, man. Oh, turned over and there it was. What up, Kenny? Arkansas Whitetail. It's Damron. Let's poop on this. Yo, what up, Damron? What up, Mr. Portugal? Ibsen Bracy. Alex. What it do? Jarvis Quarter. 400 plus in cash, too. Tony says Conley out tonight. That might help Joe Ingles. Yeah. What up, Nick? Showstopper says get me in this. Well, I guess we can. We got to hurry it up and get some games going. And I guess I'll bring in Ready Chat. Here comes Yo. Yo. Told you.
That's just the go-to opening, Go-to opening works every time. This looks like a good slate today. Should be a fun one. Ready to get rolling.
Fantasy Labs at 3 p.m. tweeted news to watch. Ben Simmons probable. Paul George probable. Patrick Beverly probable. Patrick McCaw probable. And it seems to be the big one. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get cranked up. Let's get game numero uno underway. We got 6 games on the docket. The first one I want to chat about, the Toronto Raptors at the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got 222 total. That's one thing I did notice when I was putting totals in the spreadsheet. I'll pull it up on the main slate or on the main screen. 10-point spread Toronto, 7 for Philly. We know that can get out of hand. It's Atlanta. 13.5 for Boston. 13.5 for the Clippers. There's a couple of games that maybe get out of hand tonight, so keep that in mind. Maybe we are navigating through the landmines. Anyway, Toronto Raptors projected starting 5 tonight. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, taking on Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jetty Osman, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. Patrick McCaw, as they said, questionable. Marc Gasol out, RHJ out. So I do think we might be able to look at that front court a little bit more, and a guy like Serge Ibaka, who might be a little too expensive on draft. Well, I don't even say he's too expensive on DraftKings, but a little bit priced up to. All right, let's make a decision on FanDuel. Serge Ibaka is $5,600, and Serge Ibaka is a power forward Oh yeah. So I'll probably have a little bit of that. And then everyone else is always in play on Toronto just because of their minutes and usage distribution. The Team DVP tab and RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet will let us know that the Cleveland Cavaliers are really good. A really good matchup for guards and wings. So these guys like Van Vliet and Lowry that can get 35, 38, 39 minutes, it definitely could be a point per minute and make my player pool. I will say it does seem like Lowry and Van Vliet don't really coexist a lot for ceiling. But we'll see. This game should be paced down. Cavs run a slow pace. But all of the Raptors, even Anunoby to an extent, but all of the Raptors starting big four would be curious clicks for me. On the Cavs side, really don't have a front end interest, although Kevin Love I could certainly justify, and I think at 6,800 on FanDuel, that's one of the cheaper prices we've seen on Kevin Love. So those are those first couple names that stick out. I think the thought process on this slate for me is going to be foreshadowing to like the Wizards game and a couple of these other higher pace, higher scoring games. But on the Cavs, man, I've been playing Colin Sexton too, and I just don't know how I get there today. It's just Kevin Love for me, and maybe an Aaron shot on a TT or Nance if I had to diversify my player pool. What are you doing with this one, Canada?
Well, Cleveland side, I'm just going to full fade. When it comes to the minutes of Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Larry Nance, Henson's getting some minutes. It just seems like, the starters and Thompson and Love aren't seeing that 34, 32-minute games anymore. They're playing in the high 20s. With Nance playing well, I can see that continuing. So just going to full fade these guys. These guys are all getting the price bump. Nance had the big games against Chicago, New Orleans. Respect Toronto's defense a little more than that. So it's going to fade Cleveland. Toronto side, point guards against Cleveland. I think it was last time when New Orleans plays Cleveland, didn't have any Drew Holiday. And, point guards against Cleveland, no matter how deep the team is, no matter how healthy they are, they can have 10 guys running. You play point guards against them. So give me some Kyle Lowry. 7.5 could get you a 50 here. I'm good with that. If I'm going to have Kyle Lowry, probably going to have Van Vliet. Not play them together. It's just going to be one or the other. I think one of those guys will definitely go off. And give me Pascal Siakam, 32% usage rate with no Marc Gasol in the lineup. So at 8.4, I can see him getting you 50 points here. Should be easy pickings for him. So give me Siakam, give me Van Vliet, give me Lowry. Serge Ibaka's price on DraftKings at 7.1, center only, is I'm just not going to get there today.
Yeah, I will say when in that little stretch, I know Siakam was out too, but there's a little stretch where Gasol was missing earlier this season. It did feel like the Raptors were a little bit more susceptible to opposing bigs. So I do think it's like, I don't want to say sneaky, but I don't think it's a crazy process to land on a Cavs front court here. But obviously you feel like the upside maybe isn't as.
Yeah, just the minutes. It's just like you said, they're fully healthy, so the minutes just aren't there for them to fully reach their upside.
Yeah. Ibsen said, will this game stay close gun? Probably not. Daraj just say he likes Drew, a shooting guard because of point guards against Cleveland. Sean says,
I'm too hard as a point guard, shooting guard. Same thing. Chill out. You know what it is.
Yo, I gotta get the shirt made, man. Yeah, I can see him getting 50 here. I'll have some of that. I don't know if I can fit that on a shirt. Someone make me a design.
Who's the point guard / shooting guard?
Josh Henning says, is Boucher worth a shot? He gets some innings with Siakam. So Boucher is very interesting to me for several reasons. One, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson out. Two, it's a potential blowout. Three, Marc Gasol out. So there's definitely a path, a possibility for Chris Boucher to maybe reach the 20-minute threshold, and we know he can absolutely crush it in point per minute standpoint. So can that 20 minutes net us a near 30 fantasy point game? That's up to you guys to project, but I definitely think it makes sense. Terrence Davis, I see you guys mention him. I think if Norman Powell's in the mix and Patrick McCaw's in the mix, I probably don't get there. I think McCaw missed the game. So if he's probable, which he is, then I don't know that Terrence Davis is something I got to get too froggy with, right? What up, Hunter? Voted up. Appreciate that. Yeah, Sean, I can see him getting 50. I can see him getting 50. I'll probably have some of that.
Getting all my 50s.
Not some of that, like one word. Some of that. I'll have some of that. Charlotte Hornets at the Washington Wizards. Here we go. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Hornets. Devontae Graham at 6,600 on FanDuel. Terry Rozier, Nick Batum, PJ Washington, Cody Zeller taking on Isaiah Thomas, Bradley Beal, Isak Bonga, Thomas Bryant, Jan Mahinmi. We got a 227.5 total, 4-point spread in favor of the home team, Washington Wizards. High total here. If we go pull up that team stats tab in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, we're going to see a tale of two paces. The Washington Wizards are the second fastest pace in basketball right now, and the Charlotte Hornets are the third slowest. So it's going to be a pace-up spot for the Hornets, extra possessions for the Hornets, and that's what you like to see. I think Devontae Graham, in that last game, he was ill, he was sick, he was so sick that he was ruled out minutes before lock, and then, I guess he upchucked enough to stay in the game. So I like him. I love his price on FanDuel, 6,600. And then Terry Rozier has been strong enough in a matchup like this where I could even play them both. They probably both get deep enough minutes. I don't know why I got Nick Batum here. I pulled that off for RotoWire. I know he started that France game, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. PJ Washington is 5,400. I rarely play PJ Washington. I think the last time I played PJ Washington was like against the Bulls. But the reason he's curious to me is because he does have a shot at 30-plus minutes in neutral games, and 35 minutes against the Washington Wizards could produce a solid fantasy return. But very rarely does he act there. He's like Rui Hachimura. But 48 against Portland is an example of something he could fall into if he started hitting some shots. 39 against Toronto. So every now and then there's a little bit of a ceiling to him. On the Wizards side, Bradley Beal's 9,400 on DraftKings, 9K on FanDuel. A little less comfortable of a click because I really want that 5K plus, but I still think he's in the player pool in a 6-game slate. And then Thomas Bryant. In that last game against the Milwaukee Bucks, we finally saw Thomas Bryant break that 30-minute threshold since coming back. Up until that point, it had been 17 and 18 minutes, and then he went to 32 against Milwaukee. And as expected, in a game that dropped 282 points, he went up. He had a double-digit fantasy point, a double-double, and then 40-plus fantasy point performance. Should this be an indication that Thomas Bryant is off the chain and playing 30 minutes, I'm in, because we love bigs against the Charlotte Hornets. They are allowing amongst the most fantasy points per game to opposing bigs, the second most on this slate to power forwards, and the most on this slate to centers. So absolutely sign me up for some Thomas Bryant if he's going to get those minutes. And then Jan Mahinmi has also shown a propensity for a little bit of ceiling. If you have been keeping an eye on him, he's also inconsistent, but in the last 10, you see the ceiling I'm talking about: 36 against Miami, 41 against Detroit, 39 against Utah. Every now and then, the right spot, he can come through in the 4,500. You probably settle on 25 to 28, but if you think there's a shot at 35 to 40, and I think in this matchup there is, and it's, I believe, didn't he play for the Wizards? I don't know. I don't want to put that out there, but he's on. I'm stupid. So 4,500 for Mahinmi. I think he can make the pool. Thomas Bryant can make the pool. Bradley Beal can make the pool. Jordan McRae's going to be out again. I'll go back to the well on Davis Bertans. 5,600 on FanDuel. I like that power forward eligibility on FanDuel, on DraftKings. Same thing. He got 30 minutes against Milwaukee. He was shooting extremely well. Like if I was down 20 points in a shootout, and I got a guy that hasn't missed a shot from 3 yet, I probably want him to shoot some more threes. For whatever reason, they didn't. But I still think we know the potential for Davis Bertans to get us to 30, 40 fantasy points in a close, contested, high-scoring game. Again, I don't think this one's going to be as fast-paced just because of how slow the Hornets play, and then the fact that it's projected to be a much more neutral game script in terms of spread. But I still like Davis Bertans and maybe even a little bit of Ish Smith. So game stack potential for sure. This is one of the process games. If you guys remember the open slate, find Wizards, find Pelicans, find Hornets. So I'm going to be all over this game. Rods, what are you doing with this one?
All of my boy Terry Rozier, who's been better than Devontae Graham for the past 10. I'm playing both of them together. Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier both could be walking. You know the number, 50 bombs against the Washington Wizards today. Both in the 7K range on DraftKings. Play them together. Love it. But I mean, I think maybe points per dollar might even like Mikal Bridges the most. You're averaging 37 against Washington 2 games this year at 4.7. Seems like a great value play. Pace up spot. This is his type of game. So give me some of him as a value play today. Washington side, I mean, it's usual suspects. Give me Bradley Beal, who's been on a tear. Give me Thomas Bryant, who seems like he's finally being unleashed from that minutes limit or minutes restriction. And I mean, if you want to take shots with guys like Bertans or Troy Brown, sure. But again, slower paced game, so not running to play them. A guy like PJ Washington, I mean, he's playing the minutes. The usage just isn't there. But again, if you want to take a shot with him because there's the Wizards, that's fine. But core three for the Hornets, it's Graham, Rozier, and Bridges. And Washington, it's Bryant and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy to land on. Let's see what the live chat has on that. AD said this.
How many, I mean, you're going to have, like, I mean, how much Devontae and Terry? Like 40% of each? 30% each?
So on FanDuel, shooting guard, it's Bradley Beal. Well, FanDuel, I'd probably go crazy with Devontae. The gap between 1 and 5 is nuts price-wise. It's Bradley Beal, 9K. Then you're dropping 1,600 to D-Russ against Boston on the road. It's a little tougher, so I probably don't play that. Van Vliet's definitely in play for 40 minutes against the Cavs.
What are the odds? Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the odds like Lowry and Van Vliet outscore Devontae and Terry?
Against Cleveland, it's possible. I think what I like, Devontae and Terry also get those type of minutes, and I think if you let the matchup be the tiebreaker, the matchup is in Devontae and Lowry, just because of the pace and total.
Actually, like if you only think one of those guards go off on each
team.
But
on no site is that a 2v2 though. Like you could literally play all four on FanDuel. So obviously you could do that on DraftKings as well. And that might be something to do. Go get your Van Vliet, Devontae's. But Devontae's got to be my favorite points per dollar on FanDuel as where I'm standing now. And yeah. So at first I thought 40% sound bullish, but 40% might be conservative. So if on FanDuel, if I put in Lowry, Rozier, Graham, Van Vliet, I still get 63 per. That's still plenty of money to work with, so I could.
Then you're kind of missing out on the stud of the night, though. That's the only thing when you play all those guys.
The stud of the night.
Don't get to him.
Trae Young?
I don't know.
Is it a guard?
It's a big.
Well, then how would I miss out on the stud of the night if I got four guards?
I don't think you can play all those guys and jam them in, too. You can't jam Joel Embiid. I don't know his FanDuel price, but can you?
If I put in Joel Embiid, I'm left with 57 per.
Oh, damn. Goddamn FanDuel.
Well, I'm telling you, FanDuel's the easiest money on I don't know, I love it.
Wild.
Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Chat, you got anything else for me? Ibsen says, is Bryant a tier 1 gun? So what I'm worried that Bryant's minutes might go back down, but yeah, I guess
23 straight minutes in the second half yesterday. That's a bit of an anomaly. But even if he gets like 26, let's say 27, not 32, he can still get there against Charlotte.
Ernesto said, who's got the better hand recency bias, Terry Rozier or low value Isaiah Thomas? I think Rozier, just because we know Rozier could play 37 minutes in that matchup. Bridges popping off on my projections. I like Bridges. I can see 50 from Bridges.
Yeah, I'm not even saying 50. I'm going to say 30, 35. I can definitely see 50 bombs from Devontae and Terry together. It seems like a Eric Bledsoe, Middleton type of combo. Obviously, not going to drop you 70, but 250s is very in play.
What else we got, chat? Monk in play.
Interesting in tournaments. If Monk goes off, one of Devontae or Terry probably doesn't, or has a below average game.
Yeah. I got nobody on my injury sheet for the Hornets, but if I'm telling you,
just today in general, like we got the news early. A couple guys out, probable. I don't think there's any big news that's gonna occur.
Yeah, let me double check this. Let me see what Lab says is the starting lineup for the Hornets, because I definitely don't anticipate Nick Batum being a starter. It'd probably be Bridges. Let's put Bridges. I almost put McCall, Miles Bridges. And then we'll replace that with Nick Batum here. Alright. Cody Zeller also could just be chilling in our faces.
Could. There's so many bigs.
Because we target centers against Charlotte, but man, centers against the Wizards are in play too.
How many minutes would you give Zeller though?
I wrote down 25. And that'd be enough for 30 in this spot.
Yeah.
But and the Wizards are playing bigger than they ever have, really, with Bryant and Mandy. So maybe there is a need for him. I'd put Zeller in the mix. I would do it. You like value bigs more than value guards? No, I usually like to pay up for the stud bigs and then find value in the guards. Usually. That's not an every slate thing, but usually. 50s in a slower pace game? Yeah, no, 50s exist in all paces and all totals. You'll see 50s in, for a guy on a team that scored 98. Obviously, the process for us, we love the high totals, the fast paces, just because it creates more possessions and more opportunities than fantasy points. But it doesn't mean you can't go get your Nikola Vucevic's of the world and scoop up those 50s. Next game on the docket, the Sixers at the Atlanta Hawks. Projected starting five for the Sixers: Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, Tobias Harris, Mike Scott, and Joel Embiid taking on Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish Jr., DeAndre Hunter, John Collins. We got a 228.5 total, 7-point spread. Really high total, a single-digit spread. Ben Simmons has a Q tag on him, but I think he's going to go Al Horford out, Jay Rich out. Horford does not make the revenge game in Atlanta, but it's all good because this leaves us with an opportunity to really you could three-man stack the 76ers. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, all these guys in and of themselves easily justifiable against a team like the Atlanta Hawks. We go pull up that team stats DVP tab. We know that the Atlanta Hawks are going to run at a fast pace. They're fourth in pace right now, and we know they're going to give up a lot of points. They are one of the worst defenses in the league. They have the third lowest defensive efficiency, or third worst, I should say, and they give up 118 points per game, which is the second most in the NBA, behind only the Washington Wizards. And of course, I always say it, man. If you look at Ben Simmons, a guy that can get you a couple steals a game, the Atlanta Hawks lead the league in turnover per play percentage. It's been that way. Trae Young can do it. 14.6% turnover per play percentage. That's more. That's a stronger number to me than this 14.6 on Cleveland, just because their pace is going to give you more possessions, so they're sustaining the percentages with more possessions. So a guy like Ben Simmons comes into the mix. He's guard and forward eligible, so you really don't even have to give up on those four guards that we've already talked about. And he's going to get steals: 1 steal, 4 steal, 2 steal, 5 steals. So this could be a big night for him, particularly on FanDuel. Last time against the Atlanta Hawks, he played 37 minutes. It only got you 31 DKP, but I'm willing to have a goldfish memory here and load him up. But I'm with you. Joel Embiid's probably my favorite stud. I think 9K's grossly underpriced. We did mention it when he came back that last game that I think people maybe overreact to the injury. He was only out with a hand injury, so it didn't keep him off the treadmill. He got 40 in 26 minutes. That 26 turns into a 30 minutes. Definitely an opportunity to go get you 50 fantasy points. He got 67 in this matchup last time. So Embiid will certainly be one of the foundation pieces to my lineups tonight. And then the question with Trae Young, I think this is a perfect example of the 20% rule. What are the range of outcomes that Trae Young on a 6-game slate is a great play? Well, probably 20%. So I'm just going to play him 20%. And move on from that. I probably don't have any supplementary Atlanta Hawks. I will say, John Collins is at least interesting, but I really don't like to get too creative when it comes to playing any of these other Hawks. What do you know with this one, Raj?
Yeah, Philly, Joel Embiid, probably one of the highest owned guys on the slate. I'm looking right now at 60%. Noah Horford, it's the Atlanta Hawks. Should see 30-plus minutes, should absolutely smash. expecting 60 here, upside for more. 9-3 at DraftKings, probably 1,000 too cheap. Even at 10-3, would be running to play him. To give me all the Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is interesting. It's just, again, point guard is so kind of strong today. At 8-9, again, I think I prefer guys like Rozier, Devontae, Kyle Lowry. So going to be a little hard to get to him, but having some is fine. Just at that price tag could be a little difficult. Trae Young, 20%. I mean, standard rule every day. 9-9 against Philly. You just play Trae Young. He can get you last game, get you 38. The game before that, 77. Even though it was Washington against Toronto, he gave you 73 a couple games before that. So, he has that upside always. Play 20% every day. Again, at the point guard position, if you want to bring it down a little today, maybe 15, maybe 10. Again, getting those 7K guys in, understandable. But, he's just usual guy. I think maybe a guy like DeAndre Hunter, 4-7, playing minutes, coming off a back-to-back 30-point games. If he kind of fits into your lineup, I don't hate that. Bembry's out. So, I mean, maybe that kind of affects a little bit. Cam Reddish, 4-5, another of those guys. One of these small forwards seems to have a 30, 35-point game every game. They just kind of alternate. So if you want to throw in a Cam Reddish or a Hunter, I don't hate it at their prices.
How about we go run an on-off court tool? We're actually ahead of schedule, man. I thought we'd be rambling, but we don't disagree on anything yet. We need to.
It's pretty straightforward slate here.
It's just not fun. So let's go take off Al Horford and first of all, let me shout out Xandru, Vlad in the chat. I felt bad yesterday, bro. He jumped in and he said two things, and I was razzing him because his name it has elements of very. His name is it has a couple different.
Xander and Andrew put together.
Yeah, and then his last name's Vlad, so Xander is to me it's Chinese. Andrew could be also Chinese, but anything. But Vlad is kind of I know a bunch of Russian people know Vlad, so I was man, what a cool name. All these different, and then the way I said it kind of came off mean, and then he didn't type again, so I was oh no, don't tell me he left. So I felt bad. But it was good to see it. It's Andrew back in the chat, man. The Sixers have a guy named Christ. What the heck? That's crazy. I'm guessing that's pronounced Chris, and I'm an idiot. All right, Horford off and Jay Rich off. That's what we're doing. All right, and then we'll go put Benjamin Simmons on. So Ben Simmons, man, could he not in retrospect tonight? We look back and he's got 50.
I think you could fade. You can definitely 50 is fine. You can definitely fade the 50. If he goes for 60 is when I'm really disappointed, or 70. Which, I mean, he could against this matchup just rack up all the peripherals. Again, with Joel Embiid, obviously upside is not as there.
What? Dude, the 50, you're touting everyone on the slate for 50, but 50's fine. 50's fine for Ben Simmons, though. You could fade to 50.
I'm just saying, at that price point, you want more. If I'm going to tout, Terry Rozier at 7-3 for 50 or Devontae at 7-7 for 50, a 50 from an 8-9 guy is not what I'm looking for.
Okay, buddy. He's cheaper than Embiid, and he could outscore Embiid. I wouldn't have none. It's a still heavy guard against the Hawks, and he probably leads the team in minutes. Joel Embiid in this situation, 29% usage rate, 1.4 to 1.5 fantasy point per minute. Ben Simmons 1.3. You could probably play them both. Could you get 100 fantasy points out of Simmons and Embiid? I think so.
You can get 100 fantasy points out of Rozier and Devontae for how much cheaper?
All right, guys, I'm a big time Rozier or Devontae truther, but you're making that seem like it's a reasonable range of outcomes. It's not. The last time those two teams played, it was a complete dud. So
points per dollar, I still think that pair.
Points per dollar if they hit their ceiling, yeah. And I'm with it, but exploratory lineup creation here. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid could give you an extremely. It's like if you play Kawhi and Paul George, you can get you 100 points and work from there. And on DraftKings, it may not be that. I mean, you could probably play them all because remember, Ben Simmons is a small forward eligible player, and get Embiid, and you could probably get Rozier and Devontae pretty easily. So
Throwing Boucher in
uh,
there, and yeah.
you keep 1v1ing and 2v2ing these guys, and it's not like that. Josh says, how much usage and rebound rate boost is Tobias seed when Horford is out? So, well, we just ran the usage check, and Tobias had a 25% usage rate, 55 minutes of sample size, over a fantasy point per minute. Could you three-man?
That 7K could definitely get there for you in tournaments.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh man, what the heck was that?
Quarantine gun. Corona's got you.
Oh man, I almost just died. That would have been awkward, dying on the air. If I died, would you continue this? How would you work that?
So I would do it for you, gun. Continue the stream every day in honor of gun death.
No, it was just no, I mean in the moment. You just go to the next game. Because
I'm sure that guy. I would just think that maybe you just left the scene or something. So yeah, I would just jump to the next game.
Yeah, gun's dead. But lock is still at 7. So next game on the docket.
What you gotta do?
Man. All right. Tamron says guns plays equal meat. Rogers play equal impossible meat. I still haven't tried the Impossible Whopper because it just doesn't sound American. Gosh darn it. Don't die in this gun. Not till after the lock. Philadelphia and Hawks. All right, let's move on. Golden State Warriors at the Boston Celtics. Projects 35 for the Warriors. D'Angelo Russell. Damian Lee. Glenn Robinson. It's like aftershocks. D'Angelo Russell, Damian Lee, Glenn Robinson, Draymond Green, Marquise Chris taking on Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Daniel Tice at 223.5, total 13.5 point spread favor of the home team Boston Celtics. So pretty lopsided total. Golden State kind of surprised some people in that Philly game. Could they do it again? Curtain call. If they do, Draymond Green really didn't move in price. He's 5,900. We could see him on his great days being 35, 40 fantasy points. And D'Angelo Russell, 7,400 8K. A lot of people are just going to go straight to the Devontaes or the other Terry Roziers. And D-Rush just showed a propensity in a tough matchup, Philadelphia 76ers, to do well. He dropped 50 fantasy points, 28 real points, and he has gotten you 26 or more real points in 5 games straight. So he's setting a pretty high floor. The matchup here, much tougher. We are much tougher than usual. We'll go look at the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet. And Boston's given up the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. But like I said, Philly's been pretty stout against point guards too. And there he is with a great game. So it becomes a very fun tournament play, D-Russ. And then, like I said, Draymond Green. Interesting, right? Oh my God, I'm dying. Draymond Green, 33 minutes against Philly, 32 minutes against Indiana, was over a point per minute in both those games. He's dropped 34 or more in 3 of his last 4 games. Celtics, not a plus matchup, but he does just enough of everything: assists, a couple of rebounds, and a couple of peripherals. That maybe 5,900. Matchup be darned is maybe a little too cheap for him if that's the type of role he's going to play. Willie Cauley-Stein not on the team anymore. On the Celtics side, we don't have anyone but Canner impactful to be out. This is going to create a very even usage rate across the board. You probably see everyone between 20 and 25%, and then you're just kind of guessing on whose day it is, and it could be any of them: Kemba, Jalen, Hayward, Tatum. So you spin the wheel, throw a dart. I would like to maybe spotlight Daniel Tice for just a moment, because I really slept on it last slate with Canner out. Daniel Tice has had 30 minutes in 3 games straight, and he's been just about a point per minute, gotten you just about 30 fantasy points in each of those games. He's got you 30 in 4 games straight. So last time out against Golden State, he was a point per minute. So if you really need a stocking stuff for center, I know you guys might be tied to the idea of Joel Embiid on any site, but if you wanted to build a little bit different, I think Daniel Tice is someone to kind of keep in the back of your head as a guy that could be a 30-minute 30 bomb to just kind of fill out a lineup. What are you doing with this one, Raj?
Yeah, at first glance, Boston's fully healthy. They're getting Tatum back. Gordon Hayward's priced up at 7.5. Got Brown's kind of priced up 7.4. Kemba Walker 7.9. I mean, he's a guy who I'm probably the most confident in just because he has the ball in his hands a lot more. So at 7.9, maybe some Kemba Walker. Dice is 6.1. I mean, I get it. He's playing 30 minutes. It's Golden State. But again, it's just these price tags are kind of tough to get to. I might just full fade Boston. In Golden State, I've been playing D'Angelo Russell religiously. He's been coming through for me, more often than not. Played him against Philly at relatively low ownership. Now he's 8K going up against Boston. Could he get you the 50? Sure. I don't expect him to be a better defensive team. I mean, he got 53 of the past 4 games. Just saying. So it's definitely there.
Yeah, you know how I know that? Because I just said that. But acting like Philly's not a tough matchup. Philly's barely a better matchup than the Celtics. So I don't know. I don't know if I would just give up on D-Russ that fast.
I mean, that's true. Especially I have been playing him. Draymond Green, though, is definitely, I think, a core play for me today. At that price tag, 5.9. He's playing the minutes. He's shown his upside.
Draymond Green, a core play.
100%. This game, I think it should be a relatively competitive game.
13.5 point spread, relatively competitive.
So Golden State Warriors.
It's the largest spread on the slate, but it's relatively competitive.
Vegas is wrong sometimes. They're wrong about this. It's going to be a close game in the fourth quarter.
What?
Give me some Draymond Green. Marquise Chris at 4.5. I think that's a very interesting value play here. Minutes, 18, 21, 31 passing games, a little all over the place. Even at 18, he got you 22 fantasy points. 31 got you 24. I could see him getting you 30 in a good spot here. So give me some Marquise Chris. Give me some Draymond. And D'Angelo Russell's a little iffy right now.
So, all right, I need a minute to process this. Chat, I'm about to lose it. Draymond Green is a core play because it's a competitive game. It's the largest spread on the slate. I think D-Russ... Stop! I think D-Russ is iffy.
Still the price bump. I wish it was 7.2.
I think D-Russ is iffy, but I think it's a competitive game. Yeah, I really don't get your logic.
No, because D-Russ is point guard, shooting guard. That 7K range is a little loaded. So it's fine at only 8K.
And if he gets you 50, that's cool. I just don't understand this game. Cool. If this game is a competitive game,
he has 50 fantasy points and 30 real life points. I'm with you with that.
Are you? Because I think you're what? You're just nothing makes sense. You literally just hurt my head. I don't even understand the words that came out of your mouth.
It's just a price thing. It was just like the AK sticker. I've been playing them in the 7s. Again, the Rozier.
Yeah, true. I would hate to have 50 at 8K. That would just be really, really terrible for my lineups. Oh, man. I don't know. I think that's a if then that statement. That is, if this game is competitive, then D'Angelo Russell probably has another 25-plus point real point game, which puts him in the market for 50 real points. Or 50 fantasy points. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you were heavily contradictory to your own self.
What about Draymond? How much? I'm probably going to have 30 to 40 Draymond.
You just said core play, but 30 to 40%. My God, what are you doing?
I mean, I feel like that's a relatively.
That's not a core. That's you started saying
the one choice of words. But okay, 40% Draymond Green.
All right, hold on.
My highest owned guy is gonna be 60%.
Yeah, no. Core play should be 60%. You were like, Draymond's probably gonna be a core for me, and I was like, a core play, and you're like 100%. Core plays are not 30%.
Maybe it's the wrong choice of words.
Yeah, everything you just said.
I'm gonna be above the field. I'm gonna be above the field on Draymond. Maybe hopefully double the field.
Sweats with swag. I wish I could see your face trying to. I literally just put my face in my hands, that whole everything that listening was hurtful there. I don't know. So I'm not saying I'm gonna be all over D-Russ, but if I thought this game was competitive, I probably had D-Russ because that's the only way. Otherwise, I think it's a blowout, and 13.5 point spread kind of gives me that. Boston's at home; they're fully healthy, by the way, right? No starters out, Canner's out, but I think they can manage. Tatum is on a minute restriction, so I don't need to push the issue with that. Jaylen Brown and Kemba, only two guys that I would even really walk away with, and even then, I don't even know that I have much of them. Chat, what do we got? Ernesto says, banner between Gunn and Raj is better than TV right now. Go back to Raj. Oh, man. Go back to work, Raj. Tobias Harris at the power foot slot on DK's an easy play. I agree with that, German. Stick to your guns, Raj. No.
Dude, I'm telling you, just because there's so many other guards in that lower 7K range that it makes DeAndre Russell hard to get to. But I like him. It's just iffy because of the price.
Because of 8K.
No, I'm just saying. I think I'm getting very similar upside with Terry Rozier or Devontae, and you're saving a couple hundred where you can upgrade somewhere else.
I think you're way too high of those two.
Maybe.
Not maybe, definitely. Like they're great spots. I'm gonna have them, but I think you're putting them on some pedestal where they can't fail, and that is absolutely not the case.
Here. Just in Washington, we've seen it over and over again. Guys just going off. I'm going to be, again, because they're going to be so chalky, I'm going to be over the field.
You did not see that yesterday. All the chalk failed yesterday. Yo, Raj, you have not said one correct statement in an hour. Jesus, bro.
Time out. But yesterday wasn't the Washington Wizards. They weren't playing yesterday.
No, they weren't. Where are you?
Yesterday's chalk was, Sabonis failed me. DeRozan came through. But everyone else kind of failed me.
Kyrie. All these people that you were trying to... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yesterday was the best day. What can you do?
For the love of God, let's move on. Utah Jazz at the Denver Nuggets. Project 35 for the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert taking on Will Barton, Gary Harris, Torrey Craig, Jeremy Grant, Nikola Jokic. We got 215.5 total. 1.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Denver Nuggets. Man, Utah is starting to hit the panic button on Mike Conley. Mike Conley will not play today. He was a pretty trendy value play yesterday.
Still the biggest flops in recent NBA history for trades. There has been a guy you trade for, kind of brink of being an all-star or all-star caliber, and it just falls off a cliff.
Mike Conley, it hurts because he's such a likable guy, and I always just want to be like, yeah, but he's been injured, he's been on a bad team.
This was finally his time, make the playoffs, get pieces.
There's no excuses here, man. This guy's just not performing. So we'll see. Anyway, he will be out today. Pretty low total here. Now, there's going to be two defenses that play better. Denver's back at the house. They are still short-staffed, though. No Paul Millsap, no Jamal Murray. And in the last week or so, Nikola Jokic has taken over and rode home be darned. He's gotten you about 50 fantasy points in every game the last 4 outings. So that's what you like to see. We'll say all those matchups against porous defenses, faster-paced teams that create more possessions, but the minutes are there. I'm curious to see how he has done historically against Rudy Gobert. So let's go pull up statmuse.com. Let's type in Nikola Jokic, DKP by game log versus Rudy Gobert last 10 games. And we got a 70, a 42, and a 15. That 70 came in 37 minutes. It did happen last January. This season we have a 15, but it was only in 16 minutes. So mixed bag of nuts here. This one's curious because Rudy Gobert does. We have seen some stronger center games against Rudy Gobert this season. And I think a lot of people are going to go straight to Joel Embiid for $1,000 cheaper. So that kind of makes Jokic at home, with no Murray. It kind of makes him really it feels like a contrarian tournament play that could maybe pay off. So Kind of curious to see where the world ends up on Nikola Jokic. On the Jazz side, Joe Ingles, probably too cheap, under 5K. No Mike Conley, more ball handling usage with the second unit as well. I like that. I don't mind a shot on Bojan Bogdanovic. And then Rudy Gobert is kind of cheap on DraftKings. I don't feel like I'm pushing issue there. And Donovan Mitchell, kind of the same thing. D-Mitch is a guy that's right there with the aforementioned Terry Roziers and Devontae Grahams, guys like that. Even Kyle Lowry's a couple hundred more. So maybe Donovan Mitchell doesn't get any ownership here, and he's got you 40-plus fantasy points in 3 games straight. So a couple of really elite tournament plays on paper when you think about hashtag pivot and the ownership levels. Like these could be single-digit ownership guys on a 6-game slate, which and they're not crazy. Like you could justify Donovan Mitchell or Joe Ingles or even Jokic to an extent, and maybe even Will Barton at 6K. This guy's been letting us down for a couple games straight now, but we know that he has the 30-plus point potential. The game slows down a little bit here. Maybe plays develop a little bit easier for for the Nuggets here. So I think that this is like an elite tournament spot, right? It's the tightest spread on the slate. Even though it's the lowest total, it could be one of those scrap to the final second, final buzzer, maybe even sneak an extra inning. I don't know. What do you do with this one?
No Mike Conley. I think that maybe a few more minutes for a guy like Jordan Clarkson, or a little more usage too. 4,100. Don't hate that. Donovan Mitchell 7-2, and another point guard, shooting guard in that 7K price range with the 50-point upside right here. So probably gonna have some Donovan Mitchell too. Rudy Gobert 8-1, and Mr. Consistent, just seems like giving you 40 plus every game. If he can get you close to what a Joel Embiid may get you, could be a good tournament pivot. So you can upgrade somewhere else. So give me some Mitchell, give me some Gobert. Denver side, I mean, you mentioned Jokic. I like that play. Jokic at home, no Murray. A little more playmaking duties for him. So give me some Jokic. Other than that, on Denver, I mean, Jeremy Grant seems like he can just play every day. I mean, he's just been getting it done. 38, 35, 37, 41 fantasy points, past 4. He's at, elite matchups. Houston, New Orleans, Houston, Memphis. Definitely something, but he seems pretty consistent. He's 400. I think there's still some meat on the bone there. But other than that, nobody else.
See what the live chat has on this one before we move on. Lorenzo says Will Barton will be a steal. I'd give it that. Harris, a solid defender. That's some reluctant on Mitchell's price. I'm sure he would be on Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell versus Gary Harris. I agree with that. Yeah, Mitchell seems the least likely to get 50 out of all those guys. And it's not so much. I mean, it is the matchup, right? Back to back, all that good stuff. But Donovan Mitchell just doesn't ever seem to get 50 at all. Except 2 games ago where he got 50. But before that, there was only one game on his game log, basically where he went crazy over 40, and that was a 62 against New Orleans. New Orleans and Houston are not the Nuggets, so I'll probably not even have D-Mitch. What is D-Mitch on FanDuel though? Because they tend to. He's at 7-2. There's a stretch where he was in the 6Ks. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. Jeremy Grant every day, says Kiowa. Good Robinson call yesterday, says Shadow. Appreciate that. I didn't really act too deep on it because that Robinson call was more so contingent on the rumor that Bobby Portis had got sent to the G League, which wasn't really full of substance. Lorenzo says, we'll have so much cash left over on FanDuel today, can't play Grant at that price. Man, those are 2 sentences back-to-back that kind of contradict each other, Lorenzo. Hunter says he got 60 last slate versus Utah. Who did? Will Barton. Interesting. Yeah, I like Will Barton. I'm willing to not give up on him. I think one of the things that maybe eats away at Will Barton here is the fact that MPJ is a thing, right? Will Barton was a guy we were rostering at 36 to 38 minutes a game, and Michael Porter Jr. was, not even in the rotation, and I think this has been a hit on him and a hit on usage on him as well. And now MPJ's gotten 20-plus minutes in, 4 or 5 games straight, really 7 games straight. So I think maybe that's a backdoor effect. MPJ, by the way, point per minute, and has gotten you 30-plus fantasy points in 3 of his last 4. 6K, I don't think a lot of people are going to click him with the high level of confidence or comfort, so maybe he enters the conversation as a fun tournament player, right? Let's move on to the last game. Before we do that, we'll take a pause for the cause. Remind you guys that the All-Star to All-Star Break Pass is live at RunDFS.com. If you guys want to get full coverage for all things VIP until the MLB All-Star. That's right, baseball. Baseball season hasn't even started, and you can get locked in until the All-Star break in July, which will encompass the rest of NBA, the first half of baseball, the first quarter of NASCAR. We probably have some XFL. You get the 24/7 Discord access, the daily voice chats, all the different sports that they play in the Discord, and then of course daily access to all the patented RunDFS.com spreadsheets that we have for baseball, for basketball, NASCAR, all that good stuff, and recommended tips and plays and all that good stuff. We'd love to have you as part of the RunDFS.com family. Just go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account. You can click that big old young banner at the top, or you can click VIP passes and see a couple options, see what's right for you. If you haven't never tried it before, maybe start with the week pass and kind of see what the hype's about, man. Every day before lock, we have a 2-hour pre-lock voice chat. That'll get cranked up immediately following the stream, and you guys can listen in or grab a mic, join the conversation, and if you're too shy, you can just type your questions or words in the Discord chat. We'll see that. And we'll answer accordingly. It's very informal. If you ever just want to just hang out with a cool group of dudes, make fun of each other, and then also like get work done, that's kind of what we do. So it's a good little pre-lock show if you guys are looking for one, right? Let's go get to the main event tonight. Sacramento Kings at the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers' first game since Sunday, I believe. Project starting 5 for the Kings: De'Aaron Fox, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Harrison Barnes, Nemanja Bjelica, Dwayne Dedmon. Taking on Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Mo. How could you be so heartless? Ivica Zubac, 226 is our total. 13.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers look like they could be full strength today, which makes them a dangerous team, particularly against a inferior Sacramento Kings. 13.5 point spread, so it is another double-digit spread. I believe we have 3 double-digit spreads on the slate so far. So half the slate could be a blowout. That sounds like fun. Smiles at camera. Paul George, 8,200. I'm assuming he's on a mid restriction. Let me see if I can put some words to that. Los Angeles Clippers. Paul George is left hamstring probable. He's missed 9 straight games with this injury. He's been ramping up his activity. He should finally get back as LA kicks off a 4-game homestand. His return is bad news for Landry Shamet, Mo Harkless, blah, blah, blah. And we shouldn't be surprised if he sits out one of the back-to-backs on February 8th or 9th. So I don't have words on a minute restriction, but I'm assuming that 28 minutes is what I got down. That's probably like a safe ceiling for minutes. And is that close enough to get him that 40+? It definitely could be. Patrick Beverley, another guy who has missed some time. Looks like he's going to be back. He was dealing with a groin injury. He's back in the mix. You guys know what he brings to the table. Some scrappy defense, a couple steals. At almost 5K, I need that 30 fantasy points. I don't really see myself offering a guard spot to Patrick Beverley in his first game back, but we'll see. Kawhi Leonard has been dropping 60s on 60s on 60s right now. But with those guys back, I mean, without Beverley, he's been having to play some point guard, and then without Paul George, he's just been assuming so much usage. 30 real points as far as the eye can see. In all but 2 of his last 10 games, and all of his last 8 games, he's been crushing it. Is 10.8? Could this be a Damian Lillard spot, right? Where we're like, all right, well, maybe we don't have to play Dame anymore, and he goes.
Yeah, it does seem like that. It's a pace down spot for them too. He's gonna have probably single-digit ownership in a 6-game slate.
No,
I mean, yeah, I think you could definitely play him in tournaments. Give me Kawhi Leonard, like I said, he's been balling out. 10-8. I mean, I'm going to play some of him. Yeah, give me some of him. Lou Williams at 6-8 with Paul George returning. Not the best spot. Again, pace down spot for them. Probably not going to get to him. It's just going to be Kawhi Leonard for me on the Clippers. And the Sacramento side, I mean, the Clippers should be a better defensive team now. They're fully healthy. That defense should be elite. A guy like De'Aaron Fox, just not going to get to. The only name here.
Yo, can we stop? Can we stop for 1 second? For 1 freaking second. His name is De'Aaron. My God.
Same thing.
You've been saying that for years, and it drives me wild. De'Aaron. No, stop that. De'Aaron
Fox. All right, De'Aaron Fox. No one's playing him, so don't play him today. No need to play him. The only guy is Bogdanovic at 4'8". We saw his upside last game. I think you can flash it again today. Obviously, a tougher matchup, but at 4'8", you can take a shot on him. He's the only guy in the Sacramento Kings I'm probably going to play.
De'Aaron Fox has that 50-point upside.
He does. He definitely does. Against, Beverly, Kawhi, Paul George.
Yeah. All right. So it's natural to be low in this whole game. I still I know I was spitballing the idea of Kawhi Leonard just getting forgotten about. But I probably don't have any Kawhi Leonard tonight. At least not on DraftKings. Maybe on FanDuel. I get enough money for the raw points, and I can overpay for a 45 or something like that. But for the most part, I don't see myself pushing the issue on really on this game. Chat, you guys got any secret plays from this one that we must have to win a tournament tonight? Let me know. Otherwise, we will begin wrapping it up. Spell it out, Raj. Yeah, I know, right? Josh says, you think Doc will keep staggering Kawhi in PG-13's minutes? That just seems like the natural what you would want. They'll still have overlap no matter what, right? But it definitely seems like if I was a coach of those two guys, I'd want one of them on the court at all times. But when it gets to a blowout point, he probably just, ices him. Stud Muffin says the unders on Poplar. Okay. Raj just said nobody's playing him, so don't play him. Raj is all over the place tonight, guys. He's like swerving. If he was driving on a road right now, I'd probably report him. Then there's Patrick Beverly. He tends to go off on the low, and he's at home. I think on FanDuel you could justify it, but again, guard seems pretty solid in the mid tier. We didn't have that yesterday, right? And usually I like to get some value guards and then pay up for the bigs. I can get the mid tier guards and still pay up for the bigs. It's not that hard tonight. Lineup construction is going to be more so avoiding maybe blowout landmines or something like that versus playing who you want to play. Yesterday I had to play 2-3 guys that I never ever play. Today I don't feel like I have to do that, so we'll see how that works out. Vanessa says Zubac's value. Sure, 4K. I think at that price,
Boucher, if you really want to get there.
My favorite cheap center is probably Daniel Tice, but I guess it's more so a FanDuel play.
I was gonna say he's 6'1" on DK, far from cheap.
Still get you 30. Take 25 from Zubac. Yeah, but I hate to give up a center spot like that. Boucher does make a lot of sense with no RCA, no Marc Gasol. Damian Jones, says Matt. I don't ever play Damian. I get it, though. Is Alex Len still out for the Hawks? Yes. So no Len, no Fernando. Yeah, Damian Jones probably gets you 20, 30 minutes. But that's just not fun. Not fun to click on that one. Give me some of that. Bro, I got to make the some of that shirts, bro. I'm going to do it. Give me some of that. Some of that. It's one word. Some of that. Give me some of that 50 from Fox. Yeah. Tomorrow, mañana. What other language do you speak, Raj? I feel like you speak another language.
Tamil.
Tamil. How do you say tomorrow in Tamil?
Nalika.
Nanika?
Nalika.
Nautica.
Nalika.
Nalika.
Yeah, Nalika.
All right. Well, Nalika. There's a 7-game slate on both sites. Pretty fun games if we pull it up on the main slate. So I'll probably try and get back to the 3 p.m. Eastern start time. We'll see. It's only one extra game. Raptors at Pistons, Mavs at Rockets. That'll be fun. Bulls at the Nets. That'll be fun. Grizzlies at the Pelicans. Thunder at the Suns. Nuggets at the Bucks. And Trailblazers at the Lakers. Lakers' first game in a while. So I will have the schedule updated on the Gundacker.live page to know for sure, but I'm anticipating getting back to 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so we'll see. I got to get in that RunDFS.com VIP spreads or VIP Discord, so I invite you guys to come be part of that. We'll be talking down till a little bit after lock, maybe some of the plays, some of the news that comes out, making some lineups. We got guys building on DraftKings, building on FanDuel. Wherever you play, you can throw your ideas and questions. And again, it's not just questions. Throw your ideas. Here, I like this guy. I like this guy. Young C was all over Jonas Valanciunas 2 games ago, man. It's a team aspect, man. Get a lot of different perspectives, so it's a lot of fun, man. I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. Link up with me. I love you guys. I hope you guys do really, really, really well tonight. Tag me in them screenshots. I'll see you on tomorrow's show. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.